a hole in my soul. Life I've been living is getting kind of old. I don't know where I'm going, but I know just what I need. So come a little bit closer, a little bit closer.
folks, it's Jeannie here for Scituate360, and our first ever episode begins with Scituate Harbor Master. Hello, I'm Gina, and I'm here today for Scituate360, and we are here at the Scituate Harbor Master. I am here today with Mark Patterson, and can you tell me a little bit about your history as the Harbor Master?
Sure. I became the Harbor Master in 2006, so I've been the Harbor Master for a little over 7 years. I first started working here way back in 1988, so close to 25 years ago. So it's been a great time, a long time. We've seen a lot of changes, especially in the last 10 years. So it's been fun and exciting to be involved in a lot of the developments in the harbor, the Scituate Marine Park and the rehabilitation of our commercial pier, and some other great stuff that's gone on.
What do you think one of the most significant changes that has occurred while you've been here has been?
Well, there's been a lot of significant changes, but one that comes sort of immediately to mind is the fact that Scituate has grown very much as a boating destination. It's become a very popular place for people to come and visit, not only from other cities and towns, but other states and actually from all over the world.
And do you think that the Scituate Harbor Master differs a lot from those in other communities, or have you been exposed to other community harbor masters?
Yes, we work very closely with a number of harbor masters and other agencies as well. Scituate's kind of a unique community in that sense because we have a lot of maritime facilities that some other towns don't necessarily have, like the Scituate Marine Park that the town purchased back in 2004 and has been actively developing since then. We're excited that the Scituate Maritime Center is now a part of that. That opened officially in 2009, and that's been a great venue for people to get together for things like boating education, sailing programs, and lots of other exciting stuff.
And now I know that the Coast Guard is right here as well. What is their role that they play with Scituate Harbor?
Well, they play a very important role. There was a year-round Coast Guard station here for a number of years. In the recent past, it was downsized because the Coast Guard is actually utilizing more and more some of their other assets, helicopters and larger response boats. So some of the small boat stations have downsized. So their role here now is seasonal. But during that time, particularly in the busy boating season, we work very closely with them, and they have a presence there. Their presence is in law enforcement, in search and rescue, as well as a number of other things having to do with homeland security.
And if you had to tell the community one thing about Scituate Harbor, what would you want them to know?
Well, I would want them to know that it's a great place to visit. It's a very welcoming community. We have a very active merchant organization. They've done a great job in promoting Scituate Harbor as a destination and making sure that there's tons of amenities for people here when they get here. Restaurants, shops, activities, entertainment, just about everything that somebody who was visiting by boat would want.
And if anyone has any questions for you or regarding Scituate Harbor, where should they go to look?
They could go on our website, and if they didn't find the information that they were looking for there's other contact information there if they wanted to talk with us personally.
And now, being so involved with the community in Scituate Harbor, what does Scituate really mean to you personally?
Well, it means a great deal to me personally. I'm from Scituate. My family's from Scituate, so we've been here for 5 generations. And so the Scituate and Scituate Harbor have been an important part of my family. There are a lot of fishermen and boaters in my family. So there's a very real connection to the town, and so I'm very happy to be a part of that.
Well, thank you so much for speaking with me today.
Thank you.
It's Gina for Scituate360, and today we're at Scituate Harbor Master, whose coordinates were 4212 70 44. Join us on Scituate360 for our next destination. Hey folks, it's Jeannie here for Scituate360. Today we're at the Little Red Schoolhouse with the Scituate Historical Society. Come on in and check it out. Folks, and welcome back to Scituate360. Today I'm here with Dave Ball at the Little Red Schoolhouse in Scituate. Can you give me a little bit of background information on the Little Red Schoolhouse itself?
Sure. The Little Red Schoolhouse was built in 1893 as the first high school. Before that, there were district schools. There were mostly one-room schools, but this is the first actual high school for the town. And it was a 4-room schoolhouse. There was science, social studies, English, and math being taught here. And it was not located at this location. It was actually moved from where the Gates School is located today in 1917. So it's been here since 1917, but it's a very old building, and it's our headquarters.
And why is this so important to the Scituate Historical Society?
Everything that we do really runs out of this building. This is our headquarters. This is where we have our archives. This is where we have all of our records. This is where we have all of our documents. This is where we have all of our photography. So it's really, in a lot of respects, the most important building that we have.
And what do you think one of the main roles of the Scituate Historical Society is that in Scituate itself?
Well, our mission is to preserve the history of the town, to make it available to the public, to educate the kids of the town on the role that this town played back to the very founding of the town back in the 1600s. So we have a lot of things that we are involved in.
And if you had to pick, what do you think one of your favorite sites in Scituate would have to be?
All of them. All of them. We have 14 buildings that we're dealing with. We have 6 that we own directly, and there are 8 more that we administer for the town. So it's like asking which of your 14 kids are you most likely to like, and we like them all.
And if people want to find out more about Scituate Historical Society or any of the sites, where could they go to look?
All they have to do is go online and Google ScituateHistoricalSociety.org, and we're right there.
And what is your favorite memories of Scituate, or what does Scituate mean to you?
I think it's a really cool town. It's got a great history. In my opinion, the history of Scituate is much more interesting than, say, Plymouth even. So it's got a very diverse history. It's had a lot of interesting individuals that have come from here. Judge Cushing, and many others, so Thomas Lawson. So it's got a fascinating history.
And if you want the residents of Scituate to know anything about the Scituate Historical Society, what do you think that would have to be?
It's a really cool town to live in.
Thank you so much. Hi folks, we're back for Scituate 360, and today I'm here in the Little Red Schoolhouse with Ron for the Scituate Historical Society. Could you tell me a little bit about the room that we're actually standing in?
You are standing in what we call the genealogy room. If you look over here behind you on this wall here, you have all the names of the families and books on the families. We have people come from all over the country and all over the world to look up their families and see where they came from and who were in them. We also have files here with the family names in alphabetical order here, with all kinds of information on the families. We have artifacts here also. We have Mr. Lawson's adding machine that he used to use to do all his figuring on. And we have a picture here also of Mr. Lawson out there with his children at Dreamwald. Here we have pictures of the original schoolhouse with its widow's walk, which we don't have on right now, but in the spring the widow's walk will be put back onto the schoolhouse. The brackets are already up there to put it up, but the weather came in and prevented it from being put up. It's been built in a barn in town and painted, and all it has to do now when we do get the good weather is to hoist it up and put it together on the roof. So it'll be back to its original stage. This here is the original high school built after this one was moved back, and later they added wings to it. And in the 50s, they ended up moving the high school up to Route 3A, and this became the Gates Intermediate School.
Thank you so much. We are now in another room of the Little Red Schoolhouse, so can you tell me a little bit about this one?
This is our one of our meeting rooms, and this is also a library room. And when we restored this building with community preservation funds in 2008, I really was insistent that we have some good space available for the maritime history of the town. So this room contains a lot of maritime history, plus our general information files. So if somebody came in here, say from out of state, and wanted to find out about the Cliff Hotel, for example, they would be able to find all that information in this room. We have some records here from one of the divers that works with us in town, and those diving records cover every single shipwreck off the New England coast. And there's only one place you're going to be able to find those records, and that is here.
And can you tell me a little bit about the models behind us?
Yeah, we have here a very nice model of Scituate Light, and this was donated to us by a model builder that actually has made similar models of other lighthouses that are at national parks. And he came into the Little Red Schoolhouse as we were about halfway through the renovation process, and measured up the space that we were talking about to have this model placed, and that's why it fits here so nicely. Scituate Light looks like it might be a fairly easy lighthouse to make a model of or even to paint, but it's very difficult. The lighthouse tower especially is difficult to remedy and paint in a good way. It always seems like people get the proportions wrong, but this is extremely well done, so we're really proud of this particular model. And above the lighthouse for Scituate, we have they're actually cast iron doorstops that were donated to us by a fellow in the harbor that had a business down there, and they are many of the lighthouses around the United States, starting with Scituate Lighthouse over in the corner, and it goes Scituate, and then New England lighthouses and lighthouses south of here, and finally ending up at the top, West Coast lighthouses.
Great, thank you so much. I heard there was a really good story behind this chest, so could you go into a little bit more detail about it?
They believe that this is the oldest miller's chest in the country. It, for a time, was up at the Museum of Fine Arts on display there, and they did do some repairs on it at the time, and they wanted to keep it. But Mrs. Laidlaw said, no, it's coming back here where it belongs. This came from the Stockbridge Mill, and it is set up 1/12 of a bushel went to the miller for grinding. That was his fee. And what they would do is your section or your part would go in one side and his would go in the other. And that was how it was done. And they had one of these also at the grain place down here in Scituate. And he told me they used to take and mix the grains for the summer with the molasses for the horses on the one divided side and used it that way. So they were used in many different ways. But they believe that this is the oldest one. And as you look, you can see how wide the boards are and how thick they are. You can't find boards like this anymore. And the wrought iron on here is all hand forged and handmade by a blacksmith. So it's quite a find. 1800s, this is what the mill looked like. You have the grist mill, you have the sawmill next door, and an ice house. They would cut the ice on the pond and put it in there in sawdust to keep it. And down the end you have a little building which is a blacksmith shop. Now today the only thing that is left there is the grist mill, which is operational. The only problem with the grist mill is if the reservoir is low, we can't use too much water from it. And if the tide is high, you have no flow because it's a tidal stream behind it. The water backs up in there at a high tide and then there's no flow, therefore you cannot run the wheel.
Thank you. We're back in the entryway of the Little Red Schoolhouse, and could you tell me a little bit about the artifacts we have over here?
Sure. We have on the wall a map of Plymouth County, and this map dates to 1857. We had it restored. It's in very, very good condition. It's really a priceless map at this point in time because it's so old. But it lists all of the towns, and you could take a look at Scituate or Carver or Plymouth or Hanson. They're all there, and it's in great detail. It's fragile at this point, but it's well protected where it is, and we're really pleased to have it here.
Now I also noticed that we have a plaque over here. What's the story behind this?
All right, this is a plaque that was cast by Cyrus Dallin, a very well-known an American sculptor in the 1800s. A lot of people are familiar with his work at the Museum of Fine Arts in Boston. Outside of the building, there's a statue of Massasoit that he designed and cast. This one is of Chief Justice Cushing, and it has one of his very famous quotes about his decision against slavery and his opinion on that. And it was down just south of the Rotary on 3A, and we had it moved up here because we were very concerned that we were concerned about its security, frankly. And we had it moved up here, and we had it restored, and it's going to be put out at some point in the building here. There is a replica of it outside of the building, and that will be placed down by the Rotary near the grist mill at some point, maybe even as early as this spring.
Thank you.
Sure.
Thank you for joining us today at the Little Red Schoolhouse in Scituate, whose coordinates are 4211 North, 7045 West. folks, it's Jeannie here for Scituate360. Today we're here at Native and Scituate Harbor. Let's go see what they have to offer. Hey folks, today I'm here with Marie Flaherty, the owner of Native. Could you tell me a little bit about how you got started with your business?
I've been working for myself for 30 years. Moved to Scituate almost 20 years ago, and I've been a graphic artist for decades, and I'm a tribal art collector myself. So I basically couldn't buy any more for myself. My house is packed.
And how do you think that Native brings some flavor to the town of Scituate?
Well, it brings a lot of ethnic and ethnographic art that isn't down here, or hasn't been down here. A little bit in the quarterdeck, they had a little bit. And I bring artists from all over the world here as well. And they come and they hang out in Scituate and do trunk shows and meet people and go to the beach.
Now, do you find that the community of Scituate embraces Native and they really enjoy the different nature of the store down here?
Oh, yes. Yeah, very much so. Yeah, I've had really good luck.
And what's your busiest time of the year? Would you say summer with the tourists, and how do they sort of contribute to your business?
Summer with the tourists, but also the locals come out in during the summertime too, because it's so cold down the harbor sometimes. But yeah, the summer's the busiest because it's so nice to walk around the harbor and the boats and everything. So the summer's the busiest, but Christmas is really busy too.
Now, why did you pick Scituate? Why is Native perfect for Scituate?
I grew up in Quincy, and I'm a city girl. We moved down here for my daughter. And I've worked home for myself for decades, and I didn't want to travel far. I didn't want to work in Boston. I wanted to do something local, someplace where I could zip out of the shop if I had to get my daughter. And there wasn't anything like this down here. There's one or two places in Boston like this, but there's nothing outside of Boston.
And if you wanted the community of Scituate to know one thing about Native, what do you think that would have to be?
Handmade, fair trade. Well, most of the stuff in here is one of a kind. I travel a lot. I get one, maybe two, and I might never get it again.
And how do you go about the process of getting all of these items down to Scituate, and where do you get the most of them from?
That's hard. I travel some. I import some. I have artists come here. I have a funny story. When I was in Guatemala and I met a woman from El Salvador, and I was trying to get things out of El Salvador, and it's too hard to get things out of El Salvador because the tariffs are so high that I shipped them to a friend of mine in Guatemala, and they remarked it made in Guatemala, and then we shipped it out of there. So a little bit of everywhere. Yeah, a little bit of everywhere.
And where can people find out more information about Native and what you guys have to offer?
We do a lot on Facebook. Okay. We do a lot of information on Facebook because it's fast, quick. I can open a box and say, I just got this, and post a picture, and 2 minutes later someone's down there saying they saw the box. So I do most on Facebook. I do have a website, but it's not so good. It isn't.
And if you had to sum it up all in a couple sentences, what do you think Scituate means to you?
Community, it's the best town. We have a great harbor merchant group. I know every single person down the harbor. You know, everybody, it takes 20 minutes sometimes to get down the road because you're saying hi to everybody as you go down the road.
Now, Scituate is a very unique town. How is the experience being a business owner here?
We have about 5.5 years ago, the Harbor Merchant Group was reenacted. There used to be 1 year ago, but then with all the construction down here, kind of got sidetracked. But it was re-upped about 5 years ago. And since then, all the merchants have got to know each other. We started First Friday nights. We started the Harbor Gift Card, which is a gift card that's good at over 70 stores in the harbor. It's like a mall card, but it's all the harbor merchants. And then, like I said, we did First Friday nights. We created a map, and we're doing a few more things. We're creating a group website right now that's just about the harbor.
Now, First Friday night, is there any exciting events or things that you feature or anything that you want to let the community know that you have coming up?
First Friday night, all the shops do something individual, which is nice. Some people have bands, some people have trunk shows, some people have guest artists. They might have specials, they might have sales. Sometimes we do a group activity, like in October, which was our 5th anniversary of First Friday nights. We had a group basket that we gave away, and people would visit the stores and enter, and we gave away all these baskets of merchandise. The one at Christmas, we have a wreath contest, and everyone decorates wreaths, and then they vote on which ones they like, and then we also give those away, randomly draw them. And then in May, the special one in May is the art walk, where everyone has an artist or a special art, even Saturday. And it kind of goes into Saturday, too. The first Friday night in May goes into Saturday.
Now, First Friday night is all year round, correct?
Yes, all year round. And it's taken people a long time to know that it's year round. But people do now know it's year round. We get better and better every winter. Yeah.
Great, thank you. So how have the winters been in Scituate, and how do you find that affecting your business?
Well, bad weather affects the business, but the businesses are open year-round. A lot of people don't realize that. They might close 1 or 2 extra days during the winter, but almost every business down the harbor is year-round. Most of the people that run the businesses live in town, have kids that go in town, or live just one town away. So we're here year-round, all the time.
So I saw some textiles over here, and could you explain how they got incorporated to the store and sort of the process of how they get here and what they're made out of?
Okay, I just started getting more into textiles recently, including vintage fabrics and all handmade fabrics. An example, I have this pillow right here, and I bought, when I was in Guatemala, I met a woman up in the Chichicastenango. I bought a piece of fabric, I brought it back. We had a local artist make them into pillows, and this is all backstrap loomed, if you've ever seen that. It's literally a loom that's on the back, tied to a tree, and it's all hand woven. And the quality is just, it's so thick and so strong, it'll last forever. And then this one right here is a vintage embroidered piece of fabric from Sumatra, and it's 40 to 50 years old, and it's just like brand new. So it's really amazing fabric. And there's some other ones from Guatemala. And right over here we were doing the brown cotton. Guatemala is known for its brown cotton, which is not dyed, so it's no allergens for anybody who has skin issues. And all these colors right here are all natural. And these were woven while I was down there, and they spun some of the yarn for me, and there's actual raw wool right there. And here's another example of the brown cotton. And this is a natural indigo fiber fabric too. And it'll last forever. It's just amazing colors. And all this fabric in here, and these are made out of recycled saris from India. And it's called a kantha stitch. It's a long running stitch. And they're made out of recycled saris. The saris are traded in different parts of India for more tangible goods, and they're cut up with the old pieces taken out, and then sewn into new fabrics.
Now, if someone were to come in here and say, why buy them at Native, why not go to your local department store to buy them, what's the difference in getting them here? Is there the quality?
Partially the quality, and also they might not even be there. I made 6 pillows out of this fabric, and that was it, so they're not going to have it. This brown cotton indigo, these aren't being exported anywhere as far as I know. They're on the expensive side relative, but I literally brought them in my bag. It's very expensive to ship out of Guatemala, so I bring it and put it in my bag and carry it on my back to save the money. But you're just not going to find it. Part of it's just you're not going to find it. This pillow here, you're not going to find it in the United States. You'll find something similar or different, but it's also all fair trade, which means that people are getting comparable money, good working conditions. There's no factories or anything like that. People are making these in their home. I go to different countries, and I go to different trade shows within this country and with other countries. Recently in September, I was in Guatemala at an international, well, not an international, but a Central American trade show. So they had artists from Honduras, El Salvador, Guatemala, a little bit of Mexico, a little bit of Costa Rica, and I meet the artists there. And we talk and we figure out what to make. Sometimes it's custom made, it's altered from what they have, and then it's shipped directly from the country. So that's how I meet some of them. Sometimes I meet them here. They've come here directly. And I have El Haji Kumama, the guy who everyone knows in Scituate because he's been here many times now. And he comes once a year and stays with my family in Scituate. And people are very nice. They host him. They take him on the boats. They'll bring him to a beach party or something like that, which is very interesting because he's from the desert. So he gets to go on the Scituate sand. And so a little bit of everywhere. And then once you get kind of in a role, people will recommend you. Sometimes I'll get somebody who will call me and say, so-and-so knows so-and-so. Can you see if I have anything? And I'm always looking. And I also do things directly online with people and pay through PayPal or bank transfer. It's slow and takes a long time, but it's worth it.
Right. And now, do you find that the artists are excited to get involved with a town like Scituate? Are they hesitant, or do they really enjoy getting their work out there?
Oh, they just love getting their work out there. It has nothing to do. They just love to get. A lot of the people that I buy from don't sell it to anyone in the U.S. except for me because they've never met anyone. I have an artist over there that does all the nawales from Guatemala, and those are all custom made out of hand-carved bone, and he makes them for me, and he's making some smaller ones that we can make earrings out of for me. And so, no, they're very excited to come, and we're trying to work on getting more of the international folk art artists that come in through Santa Fe for the International Folk Art Festival in July, and there's a Dallas show in the beginning of June, and they need some place to go in between. And so I'm trying to get a few more of them here so they can sell more wares while they're in the country.
Native has an awesome door in the back of their store, and I heard there's a great story behind it. So could you share that with us?
Okay, when we were building out, I have a friend that brings in whole tea houses and buildings from Asia. He takes them apart and brings them across in a container across the ocean. And when I was looking to design the place, because this place was gutted when we first rented it, we wanted a half wall. The whole wall was going to be about this high, so I could put my studio in the back. And then I was at his warehouse and found this door, and I was calling my architect, how high can I go with the door? How high can I go with the door? And he goes, you can go up to so many feet, which we just squeezed by with so many inches. And so I got the door and then realized it was really heavy. It was in 10 pieces, and it's 2 or 3 pounds shy of 800 pounds. Oh my goodness. I was coming across the state, and I had another couple hundred pounds of artifacts in my car, and so I had a half a ton in my car, and I was wondering why I couldn't get over 55 miles an hour, and the whole car was like this. And we had this before we had anything we didn't have a ceiling, we didn't have anything, and I called my husband and daughter to come down and help me get the door out of the car. And each one of these poles is about 200 pounds, and it was interesting. And then we had to change the design because it wouldn't stand up on its own because it's only concrete down here. So we had to have it attached to the ceiling for it to stand up, or the whole wall would have moved. And it's about 150 years old. It's from India, and it must have been a garden door at some time. You can even see some of the repairs on it. It didn't have a hook. So this is a railroad spike from Santa Fe. That is its lock. And that's to separate the studio. So and it's all really old. And when I first got the door up, and the landlord would say there should be a Indiana Jones cutout in the background. Or my husband thought it looked like Kunta Kinte, or no, what's the one from Kung Fu should be coming out from the back.
Oh, right. Thank you for joining us today at Native in Scituate Harbor, whose coordinates are 4211 36.14 north, 7043 34.11 west. And I'll catch you next time on Scituate 360. Hi folks, I'm Jeannie here for Scituate 360, and today we're spending our time at Front Street Gourmet in Scituate Harbor. Come on in and check it out. Folks, and welcome back to Scituate 360. Today I'm here with Terry Martini, the owner of Front Street Gourmet. Can you tell me a little bit about how you got started with the business?
I became an employee at Front Street Gourmet because in 2008 the economy was not looking very good, so I was laid off from a startup company and I applied to everything under the sun. And I got a phone call from this company, and after 4 interviews I was hired.
And do you think that the town of Scituate plays a large role in the business and vice versa?
It absolutely does. I'm a single mom. I've been in the town for 10 years this month, and I've gotten to meet a lot of people through fundraising for the schools and for local charities here, and the people in this town are just very supportive of businesses in the town.
Now, being a single mom, is it hard to juggle a business and the kids, and do you find joy in that, and do you like the experience that you've had so far?
Do you find joy in being... That's a good one. I know, you can tell how young she is. Being a single mom is definitely challenging on its own. Never mind owning a business. My son is in the public school system here, and there's a lot of support that I get from the Jenkins community. So he's involved in an after-school program. He loves his teachers, so I really can't get much luckier than that.
And do you think that the tourists play a large role, not only the community, but I know summer in Scituate is very busy, and do you see your business flourish more during that season?
Summer definitely makes a big difference for all of us down here. Winter can be really tough, and this has been an absolutely brutal winter. So summertime changes, I think somewhere around quadrupling the number of people that come in here. But it definitely, the foot traffic is much better. There's a lot more buzz. Everybody's in a good mood, even when it's raining, but as long as it's not snowing.
And if you wanted the community to know one thing about Front Street Gourmet, what do you think that would have to be?
If there's one thing that I want everybody that is able to watch this to know, is that the merchants down here in the harbor, we're open year-round. It's quite often we see people up until, well, maybe Christmas, and then you don't see anybody. I'm not sure where everybody goes, but nobody is here January, February, March, and even into April sometimes. So what I would like, speaking for all of the merchants down here in the harbor, I would like the residents to know that we are very grateful for those of you that keep us in mind, and we're the first place that you come when you go out shopping, whether it's for a sandwich or for apparel. But also keep in mind that, you know, we're here too, January through April.
Thank you. And I also heard that you're very involved with the charity. Could you share a little bit more about that and your experience with them so far?
Which charity? We have been involved in a lot of charities. I myself have been doing nonprofit work for 28 years now, and I've worked with local and international charities. So on a local level, all the schools, we try to support everybody as much as we can. We donate wine tastings and beer tastings to the schools for their auctions. You know, the unfortunates of people that have illnesses in their families or sick children. We're helping the Magical Moon Foundation coming up because we have a child in the town that is in need. So we try to help with as much as we can.
And if anyone has any questions about the business or what they can get here, where should they go to look for more information?
I think now that it's 2014, modern technology, everybody's going to go to Facebook and Twitter first, so you can find us there. But if you go to frontstreetgourmet.com and 121 Front Street, we're here every day.
Thank you. Now, I saw outside that there was some advertisement for First Friday Night. Could you explain a little bit more about that?
Sure. 5 years ago, about 5.5 years ago, a few of the merchants got together and decided that we would host, I guess you could say, an event the first Friday of every month. And again, it's year-round. It's not just in the summertime and December. But the first Friday of every month, businesses that normally stay open till 5 or 6, they're open till 8 o'clock. You might be able to see an author doing a book signing over the bookshop, or you see artists over at the art gallery. There might be a band across the street. We always sample our beer and wine of the month, and then we'll have some, foodies here as well, sampling some things. But the merchants like to do whatever we can to help promote bringing people to Scituate. And we have a beautiful community, and it needs to be seen all the time. So we tried to come up with something that was creative and fun, and it's a fun night. So.
And now, having your business in the Scituate community, have you found a sort of comfort with other business owners, and you can sort of lean on each other? What is the experience like working with the other businesses?
We as merchants meet monthly, and we are in the process of becoming an association of our own, so the Scituate Harbor Merchants Association. There's 95 of us that are members, and we band together and have come up with some great ideas on how to make some really fun, family-friendly events in the harbor year-round.
Now, being a local business, do you incorporate some local flavor, and do you kind of get inspired by where you live?
Definitely, we have some menu items that maybe not as much local to Scituate, but local to the sports team. Like our best-selling sandwich is the Big Puppy. And I have to say that my son was 10 years old when he came up with this menu item. And this is, yes. So you've got barbecue pork or chicken, grilled onions, a hamburger, American cheese, ranch dressing, and bacon. And it all gets pressed in one big sandwich.
Wow. So did your son come up with the idea and you guys kind of worked on it together?
He did, yes.
Thank you. What would you say that Scituate means to you?
Community, security, even though we have a lot of storms here, much to other people's opinions, against other people's opinions. But I think Scituate is a tight-knit community. I have a home here. I have a son that goes to public school here, and I have a business here. I am also a member. I'm on the board for the Scituate Housing Authority, so I am completely vested in this town, and I love this.
So today we have some local flavors sitting right in front of us. Could you tell me about these products and how they're made right around here?
I am a small business, just myself. So when I'm approached by people that have products like this, of course I want to help them help themselves too, right? So these products here are all produced by companies that are owned by 1 or 2 people. That's it. Small company in Hyde Park does these caramel creams. This is a woman that is right in Duxbury that makes this cranberry vinaigrette. It's actually made it to our menu. Now we've swapped out some of the things that we've had on our menu to use her products. This is by a husband and wife in Rhode Island, down in Cranston, Rhode Island. They have a gluten-free bakery, and this is Something Sweet Without Wheat. 2 women started this company, and they're up in Woburn. And then Dirty Dick's Hot Sauce, he is in Norwell. And now our newest is this Aveo. And Aveo is made with avocados, and it's a replacement for mayonnaise. It's a healthier option.
Wow.
So instead of using mayonnaise, you can use the avocado. Would you like to try some?
Sure, I would love to. Thank you. That's really good. I love it.
And again, it's just by one person. One person came up with this recipe, started this company, and now they've given us the opportunity to make our sandwiches that much better by using their product.
Front Street Gourmet actually makes some of their items right here on site, and they're right inside of this case. So could you tell me a little bit about the process on how you go about making them?
Well, probably our most famous item that we make is our buffalo chicken dip. So we start from scratch by cooking the birds here ourselves. We hand pick them, and then I can't tell you the other ingredients, but just cream cheese and hot sauce. That's all you need to know about. Other than that, no, that's our secret. And our spinach and artichoke dip, we have an artichoke parmesan dip, and you just got to try that avocado.
Yes, it was delicious.
That's delicious. So we have plenty of things here that you could take if you're having people over, whether it's 2 or 20. If you're going to the beach, which hopefully we'll be doing that really soon.
One of the reasons SCTV loves this place so much is because of their awesome menu choices and their very innovative way of incorporating new items into their sandwiches. So could you tell us a little bit about your menu?
Part of the menu was here when I first started as an employee, and then as time went on, we love food, so we just started putting different things together, and not only did we like them, but the customers liked them. And I know that John likes the Harvard beef,
Yes.
so that's something that's fairly new to our products. A lot of other menu items, or sometimes you'll see things on the specials, they were made up by our customers. So
Really?
there's definitely have customer input on sandwiches that we make. And we have one young boy, he's 11, and his mom came to me at Christmas time. And for his Christmas present, we agreed that he's able to come in and name a sandwich after himself. So we're making arrangements now for him to be able to do that, so it's up for the summer.
That's awesome, and that's very good to know. Thank you. Not only can you come and order at Front Street Gourmet, but you can also sit and enjoy your meal. So is this a fairly new addition to your store?
No, we've had it set up like this since I took the business over. And in the summertime, we actually have tables outside so you can enjoy the sun.
Well, it's great to know. Next time you're in the area and you want to not only order your food but eat it here as well, you can always come right down to Front Street Gourmet in Scituate. Great day here at Front Street Gourmet in Scituate, whose coordinates are 4211 4704 North, 7043 28.87 West. And I'll catch you next time on Scituate 360. Folks, it's Jeannie here for Scituate 360. Today I'm in Scituate Harbor at the Roman Table, so come on in and check it out. Hi folks, I'm Jeannie here for Scituate 360, and today I'm at the Roman Table with the owner, Cynthia. Could you tell me a little bit about how you got started here?
Well, I did something completely different for over 20 years. I worked in government in a senior management position. And when I left, I knew that I wanted to do something that I felt passionate about. I wanted to do something that really made me feel great and that where I felt like I was making a contribution. And so, the idea of the Roman Table was born, and really it came to me in a dream, because I have always loved dishes, and my husband would tell you that I would rather have a dish than a piece of jewelry. So I became known as the dishaholic. That's my addiction. My husband and I were walking through the harbor one day, and it was a January, and it was at the time when the economy was really just starting to come back. And I'm looking at these signs for new restaurants like Oro and the Chinese place and the dog shop. And I said to my husband, I want to open a business in Scituate Harbor. And he said, really? I said, yes, I am. I haven't decided what yet, but that's what I'm going to do. And within the next couple days, the concept came to me, and the next week when we went out and looked at space. And I never looked back. That was in January of 2010, and I opened in June 4th of 2010.
Now, how do you think the Roman Table contributes to the community of Scituate, and how the citizens of Scituate contribute to the Roman Table?
Well, I think that, the economy, did a number on small communities like Scituate. I mean, they really wiped out the downtown area. And so, luckily that has started to turn around. And what people understand is that you need to have small businesses in any community, because they bring you a tax base. Mm-hmm. They make it interesting for people. We want to see Scituate as being a destination location. If people want to come here for the day, or they want to, stay at the inn. A number of years ago, my husband I had a 50th birthday for my husband, and several guests that came from out of town stayed at the inn. And then for years, the inn was closed, and it just broke my heart. And nothing made me more excited than when the couples from Scituate took that inn over and opened it again. I think it has been incredible for the community. And so we have a small group of merchants that have an organization that we formed, and we work on trying to, educate people about the importance of small business. And I feel like the community has just opened their arms to me. And I have to tell you, when I opened, there were people who were very negative. They would say to me, oh, people in Scituate don't shop the harbor. People in Scituate don't shop the harbor. They would rather drive up to the Hanover Mall or Target. And I said, well, I'm going to give them a shot. And I think that we don't have everything here in the harbor, but we have a lot. And I think with the help of American Express and other large organizations, there has been a big emphasis on small shopping local. And I just see it growing and growing.
And being part of such a great merchant community, do you find the support when you guys are open year-round? Do you find it difficult to let the community know that you guys are open during all seasons?
Well, the winter here is a challenge. There's no question. And, that's something you have to accept if you're going to open a business in a small seaside community like this. Now, interestingly enough, just last weekend I had a woman come in with her husband, and she loved the store, and she said to me, my husband and I owned a kitchen store on Nantucket for 15 years, and we sold it about 3 years ago because, we had enough of island living. They were open all year round. So we had a nice chat about what that experience was, and she said, it's something I would never, ever regret. Right. And I feel the same way. I think that you have to think out of the box about your business. That's why we have the first Friday night program where the shops are open late on the first Friday of the month all year round. Mm-hmm. And we're constantly trying to educate people about that. And, I put the kitchen in so that I could do cooking events, and I could, I have to make it interesting for people. I have to mix it up. Otherwise, they'll get in the car and they'll drive up to Sur La Table or Crate and Barrel. And I would never pretend that I could offer them everything they do. But I can offer them a lot.
And do you definitely think that the community contributes to the business? I know that you have cooking classes you can take here, and you have the oils going on. Do you like the one-on-one opportunity you get to interact with Scituate?
Oh, absolutely. I love it. And the hard part about the winter these last couple of years is that it's hard for me to schedule classes because I never know. Are we going to have a whiteout? Are we, so that's been challenging. But I also do a lot of private groups as well. People will call me and say, my book group wants to do something fun. You think we could do something at your store with a cooking class? And for a while I had a culinary book group where we just met, and they were all women from Scituate who met here once a month, and we picked a book that had a culinary theme, and sometimes we cooked dishes from the book when we came to discuss it. And, there wasn't anything in it for me in terms of a cost, but it was a way to open myself up to the community.
And if you wanted the citizens of Scituate to know one thing about the Roman table, what do you think that would have to be?
Well, we have the freshest olive oil on the planet.
Could you walk us through some of your inventory or maybe your most popular sold items that you have here?
Sure. Well, before I answer that question, let me just begin by saying that part of my mission was to bring a little bit of the Mediterranean to Scituate Harbor. There are lots of shops that focus on Irish culture, that focus on nautical. I wanted to bring some of my background. I grew up in an Italian home. Everything was about the table. And I wanted to share that with folks in Scituate and all my customers who come from all over. So, for example, my tableware primarily comes from Italy. I do have some from Portugal, but primarily from Italy. These are artisan quality work. Nothing is made in China. And I think that's important to say because, if you want a gift, you can give somebody something that's a one-of-a-kind, very special piece. And I have developed a bridal gift registry. So I do from time to time have brides. A lot of them are local. It's so cute. They'll come in. They may live in Boston or Rhode Island. I even had a woman who lived in California, but she was getting married in Scituate, and she wanted to register only at Scituate shops. Just support Scituate. Isn't that unbelievable? And so she developed, she put together a bridal registry where people could come in and buy things for her, or they could do it online. And she was very excited. She was just in the other day to pick up some more plates. And she said, "Oh, I just love it. People come to my house and they just say to me, 'Where on earth did you get this tableware? I've never seen anything like it.'" So yeah, you might pay a little more, but you're getting something that's just beautifully made.
Now, what does Scituate mean to you, if you had to sum that up in just a couple sentences?
Well, I love the small town feeling about Scituate. I love the way people come together when there's an issue. And unfortunately, there have been a number of issues that have come up, a number of tragedies. And people come together here. They really, really do. They support their community in every way. And I love that about Scituate, because I'm just not sure that that spirit is as predominant in other places.
Thank you. Thank you for joining us today at the Roman table, whose coordinates are 4211 47.04 north, 7043 28.87 west. And I'll catch you next time on Scituate 360.